Hi, my loves. How are we doing? All right. In this episode on how to level up to be a divine feminine, if you're trying to reach your divine feminine point, whatever the case is, there are certain aspects of your life you want to work on. We are simply going to talk about codependency. Okay, that is probably the biggest struggle I have personally seen as a tarot reader. As far as feminines, it's more of that, why can I not let that person go? I'm still attached. Now, specifically, we're going to talk about essentially love. If you are somebody that struggles with letting that person go, if you are still have a tendency to be a little bit obsessive towards them, or doing the when, why, and how did they do this to me, when, why, and how are they going to come back, if you're constantly very attached, because let's be real, that is a form of chasing. Okay, I'm going to maybe talk to you as far as get down to the root of maybe possibly why this is kind of severing up. And again, it's a very collective, message. So take, as it some parts as it resonates to you, keep an open mind about things. And I'm also going to maybe show you some techniques on maybe a ways to release that person out of your life. Okay. Now, this could apply to anybody for whatever different reason, a twin flame, soulmate, or even a toxic karmic. Whatever the case is, if you are somebody that has that person on your mind right now, you are having a hard time just letting them go and letting things be, we're going to get going with that. Now, I will make it very clear from, the start, this will be a giant trigger warning, and some of this will come off as tough love. And again, save this video, even if you are somebody that's watching this and you feel like you got most of this down, essentially it's kind of like give yourself that little reminder of essentially who the fuck you are, okay? The ultimate point of codependencies and essentially reaching your divine feminine is actually really simple, is stop giving a fuck about people or things, including your person. I don't care, again, what label you have on this person. They don't give a fuck about you. For the time being, they don't. And really sit and ask yourself this. Now, when I'm saying all this, guys, yes, I could talk to you about codependencies and all that sort of stuff and coach you or whatever the case is. And I always say with tarot readers, we're here as guides. I can lead you to the water. I can't make you drink it. The number one thing I can tell you guys is simply self-discipline. Learn how to discipline yourself. Learn to take accountability. In the nice way, you sitting there and just doing this all day and every day, because that's what some of you look like when you're very like, oh, where's my person doing when are they coming, in the nice way, you look crazy. Who cares? And by the end of the day, ask yourself, why would you want an energy back, okay, that left you out in the cold? There is something about, in the nice way, I need you to toughen up, okay? And it's okay. No, another thing I want to point out is validate your feelings. Validate your own feelings. It's okay to say, oh, okay, it hurts if they chose somebody else or they left me behind. Of course it's going to hurt. Acknowledge it. That is a form of self-discipline. It's okay to say, okay, I need time, but this hurts. That is okay. That's when you can ride out the waves. Being a divine feminine doesn't always mean thug out your emotions. None of it matters. No, it does matter. It's coming to acknowledge of it. But and I've seen this a lot in my personal clients and even in the comment section. I'm fine. Clearly you're not, because you're still hung up on spying on their social media. When are they going to come in? What are they doing? Oh, if it's not something that in your mind what they should be doing, you give them the middle finger. That is still a form of chasing. Whether you want this energy back into your life or not, it doesn't matter. You are still craving some form of attention out of them. Now, where did this stem from? Okay. Now, for a majority of you, this could apply to different things. Like I said, trigger warning, some of these things may sound uncomfy to you. Okay. Did it come from abandonment of a parent from a very young age? Or, did it come from maybe growing up, were you considered the black sheep of the family? Or did you have a hard time making friends? Was something like building relationships really difficult for you? Okay. And if it is, only you could really, again, shadow work what I talked about in the last video. Write it down. Okay, where do I think this is coming from? Why do I feel the certain way? Again, self-discipline is the number one way to kind of move forward. And some days it's going to be tough and some days it's going to be uncomfy, and that is okay. That is a kind of, as bad as it sounds, if you're feeling uncomfortable, that's a good sign. You're heading right towards where you need to be, okay? But I'm also hearing the flip side of where it come from. Are you somebody that simply struggles with pride and ego? Did your person, do they never really reject you the way that anybody else has? Have you never really been rejected and it kind of hurts your ego a little bit? Are you somebody that wants, be honest, you want full control of the situation, and when this person's been out of your control, it's pissing you off? I always say, my friends, ego is not your amigo. Okay? And like I said, that part, only take it as it resonates with you. Where does it stem from? And write it down. Be like, okay, I think it's because I've spent a childhood having a hard time building relationships. Or you could be completely honest and say, no, I think it's my pride and ego. I just don't like being rejected. That is a shadow work prompt that you do need to work on. And by the way, yes, I will be giving you a homework assignment if this message applies to you. Okie dokie. Now back to the motivational part, okay, where I'm saying, by the end of the day, and I hear this a lot, well, that's my twin flame, that's my soulmate, we're going to come back. Okay, why would you want that back? Why are you manifesting a wounded masculine back into your life? They left you behind like you were nothing at one point. That's what I'm saying. The hard reality is they didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit when they left you crying and you're puking and you're doing all this. Why do you care now? Why do you want that back so bad? That part, your ego's being driven. What do you think they're, okay, cool, they show up at your door just like you want them to in your head. They're literally going to abandon you again. And I always say the universe, and I talk about this all the time with my readings, they will repeat the same cycle to you and the same lessons to you till you finally get it, including your person, including your ex. Again, I don't care what label you have on them, twin flame, soulmate, toxic, karmic, I don't care. Narcissist, I don't care. Why would you want that back? If this is a message where you truly want that energy back, manifest better. Literally write down, not just with your person, what do you want out of a man? What do you want out of a woman? And really sit with it. Does this person give you the same qualities as what's on your list? No. So why are you settling? Stop settling for bare minimum. Not you acting like you're in a deficit right now. You were okay before you met this person. You're going to be okay right now. Self-discipline comes with self-worth. Seriously, sit back and ask yourself, why do I want this energy back? And to be honest with you, be honest. Did they really make you, again, I don't care what label, did they really make you feel good? Well, we're spiritually connected. I don't care. In the moment, in the 3D, in the present, non-spiritual talk, did they really make you feel good? Did they give you the princess treatment? Did they spoil you like they promised you would? Okay, they did. They love bombed you. Did their actions back up with the flower bouquets they got you? Really sit down and break everything down. Did this person fulfill you on a high spiritual level? No, so stop asking the universe for that back in. If you really want somebody back, I want them better. I want them grown up. I don't care how long it takes. And a lot of codependency stems from a form of control. Usually, a lot of times, it sometimes stems from a childhood. There was a situation that came up, whether I'm hearing maybe you could have been the older sibling and was in charge of the household, or maybe a trigger warning. Sorry, all this is a trigger warning. You could have parented your parents. You could have grown up in an environment where you felt like you took care of yourself. You felt like you were left out in some form or fashion. You had certain controls as a child in your own environment, and you think you could carry that with you as an adult. And that's where the shadow work comes in, because you're not healed from it. Instead of being so fixated on when's my person coming back, when are they doing that? No, focus on when you can control. Matter of fact, is divine timing. I preach this a lot in my readings. You have no control of the timing. You will never know the time or place when this person will come in. You can have an intuition, obviously. You can have readings, obviously, when this comes in. That's something different. But you sitting, like I said, doing the, when are they coming? When are they coming? You're looking dumb. What can you control in your day-to-day? Your case, shadow work. Who hurt you as a child, essentially? What hurt you? What abandonment wounds are there that you'd be like, okay, I can't change the past, but this is something I can reflect on now. Positive affirmations is a good one. And again, I will get into this, may have to go to a part 2, about maybe certain techniques you can work on as far as releasing certain things. Now, whether you want to move on or detach from them, that's a completely different story. Or what I meant by like moving on. Do you want to move on from them or not? It's okay. If you're wanting to hang on, detach. How this person has treated you. no longer serves you. So why attract it back in?